Oh boy. Let's talk about this thing. People, this is a PC built by iBuyPower. You also see similar offerings from CyberPowerPC. But yeah, this glitzy, ridiculous thing. This is a gaming PC built by iBuyPower. Let me put the camera down for a second and take this glass off. Try to set it down and not smash it. Inside this thing, okay, they brought this in for a no boot condition. So look over here. See that number? That number right there, X7-V124? This, I mean, it looks like an Intel desktop board, and it kind of feels like one when you go over here into the BIOS. But guess what? It's not an Intel desktop board. It's made by a Chinese firm, and it's called a Machinist B75X7-V124. There are no BIOS updates for this computer available. There's no support. There's no drivers. It's a weird, cheap Chinese motherboard that you can't find any information on. This bad boy is sporting an Intel, what is it, 2500, what, i5, I don't know. Where are you? There you are. Core i5 2500. But here's the problem, okay? See, look at this. Compliant UEFI. But if you come over here, see this Windows Boot Manager? It vanishes. Over here in the boot section, UEFI, that vanished. That's why it's at the bottom of the boot order. It vanished. The UEFI thing completely vanished. It wouldn't boot from a UEFI flash drive. It wouldn't boot the UEFI Windows 10 installation because this, the second gen Intel Core i series chips like this, they date back to a time, Sandy Bridge and Ivy Bridge, are from the time when they started offering up Windows 8 and they started having UEFI in computers. The problem is when this is like right before Windows 8. So UEFI was not mature yet. A BIOS update normally would resolve these weird problems where things don't work all the time. But this computer, it just the other day randomly lost the ability to boot UEFI for no apparent reason. So this is the problem. This thing is, it's got this nifty rainbow and it's got all these lights, and if you wait long enough you can see some automated blinky flashy crap going on. But it's this controller, this, I don't even know, generic controller down here that's running the LEDs. Runs them a lot better if you actually focus on the thing. But you get the idea. So what we have going on here is a disaster. This fan here, maybe you can hear it. Listen, just listen. You hear all the fan noise? Listen to the fan noise, all right? And to prove it's this fan, listen. Now, of course, you would think smart fans turned off, right? Well, what's this? Hardware monitor, smart fan function enabled, smart man, oh wait, what's that? CPU fan not applicable, but what's this? What is that? What is that? That is the CPU fan header. There are no other fan headers on this motherboard for the CPU fan. So how could the CPU fan not exist? It clearly is there. It clearly works, but it says there isn't one there. So it just runs the fan, full blast, 24/7. This thing, it does the squirreliest stuff. And there might be a BIOS update to fix it, but yeah, 2011, it's a cheap Chinese board that you can't find any information on, and you're stuck. This is part of the problem. If I bought an off-the-shelf Asus motherboard, just as an example, Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, ASRock. ASRock tends to have a slightly higher failure rate. Gigabyte kind of does too. But, if I bought an off-the-shelf motherboard, just a standard brand name that's supported in the US, I could go to Asus or whoever's website right now, get a BIOS update and fire it off and see if it resolves any of the problems. But this thing hasn't been updated. BIOS hasn't been updated in 11 years. Why not? Because you can't get an update for it. Because it's a generic cheapo board and you can't do anything. And yeah, okay, blinky flashy, super cool, wah wah, except it's in the computer shop. The hard drive is not failing. The processor's fine. The RAM is fine. The video card's fine. Even the motherboard itself generally seems to be fine. Windows on here is fine, except that it won't boot because UEFI booting randomly stops working. But I put Windows 10, look at this. Come back here. See the hard drive? You see that hard drive right there? Yeah, right there, hard drive? Okay, what I did was I took this cheapo Team Group drive, brand new hard solid state drive, put it in, but I put Windows 10 in MBR or CSM or BIOS boot mode instead of UEFI, GPT, whatever. And this thing with Windows 10 in MBR mode booted fine. Computer was stable, no problems at all. But when you plug this back up, nothing. It won't boot. The installation function, but it won't boot. UEFI's busted. It just vanishes for no reason. All kinds of problems. It's insane. And if a normal computer guy built this, it would have a standard motherboard, not some weird off-brand that you could get support for. Not that you need like phone support, but you could get a BIOS. You could actually upgrade this without trying to figure out what on earth it is and what all its quirks are, and if the website exists in China somehow when you don't know Chinese. It's bizarre. So what I'm gonna do is put an SSD in with the MBR mode boot and everything will be fine. But this is the problem with iBuyPower and CyberPowerPC and these other computer companies that take these generic cases and assemble computers into them like a computer technician like me would do. You should pay a computer technician like me, even if it costs a little more, because we'll use standard parts that come with a standard warranty, that will come with support from the manufacturer, that can be updated, you can find information, you can figure things out. Some other computer guy, if I get hit by a bus, we call that the bus factor, could go online, look at the silkscreen number, look at that number right there that you can't get anything for on this board, and figure it out. But we can't do that here. We're stuck. So we're just gonna have to make the best of it. All this working hardware, this older gaming computer, perfectly fine computer, works perfectly fine. You know, everything tested great, but the motherboard's a little squirrely. And it's just weird. I could get another motherboard, but why? When you can just install Windows 10 in the older style way and everything's fine. Yeah, and you know what? A BIOS update will fix it. But there isn't one. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to, look at this blinky flashy thing. I hate this. I hate computers like this. I can't stand dealing with computers like this. They drive me up the wall. Why do I have to put up with this crap? Because this thing right here, it looks pretty. This is how they get you. Oh my God, mommy, look at it. It's so flashy, rainbow, blinky, blinky, woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, look at the lights. It look like Star Trek in the computer. But my God, this is what I deal with. It stops booting because why? Because, well, because screw you, that's why. Because you're a user that was cheap or whatever, and we'll just throw the most garbage junky thing that'll break on you later into this cheap Chinese hand-assembled thing that some poor 10-year-old probably put together with a tiny screwdriver. I don't know, but just don't buy this crap. And whoever came up with this idea of putting huge chunks of tempered glass on the side of computers, I hate you too. I hate these computers. This thing, if you put it in a normal case, look at all this empty space. Why do you have a micro ATX board in a giant ATX case? Why do you have the tiniest video card known to man, like, not really, but close enough, in this humongous friggin' case? This thing is huge. A 550 watt power supply for a budget gaming graphics card and an i5. What are you doing? What are you doing? iBuyPower? More like iBuyScrewed? Alright, I've had enough. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. I'm gonna go shut the rainbows. You see this? Look. This is called, this is my short film, okay? I'm gonna make a short film right now. I call this Catharsis.